Welcome back to One Piece Anime Re-Review episode number 93. This is discussing episode 91 to 94 of the One Piece. Well, we're doing a dub. Now, with these particular episodes, we're discussing episodes 931 to 934. There are several other things going on here. Let's first start with basically Luffy. You think really? You start with Luffy, the start of the series? Yeah, because he takes up a good chunk of this stuff. Because the first episode started with him climbing a wall with the old man. Climbs the wall, gets knocked down, gets brought for Queen. And, of course, Luffy also calls him Balloon during this period of time. So, basically, instead of, exiting right away like no, they just have a massive... Have Luffy versus all the guards in the prison for him to fight. For him, it's basically training practice for his rematch with Kaido. Also, he's given a special collar, which are the same collars. Luffy does point this out, though. Though, of course, I think that, well, in the case of Kui, he does kind of agree with this. These are the same collars used by the Celestial Dragons. And these things will explode, so then, of course, basically, it's like, oh, and the guards basically can use whatever weapon they want because they're cheaters. So, Luffy is able to knock out the first set of guards really easy with Haki. And before I continue here, I have to mention the debut of a few new characters. Some of whom are basically just there to be just one-shot characters per se. You have Osatara, who is voiced by Brad Kurtz. There is also Nakoti, a beautiful woman, who does not get credit for it. Despite that she's just speaking in the episode she appears in, she does not get credit for dub actor, which is quite strange. And there's also Bearman. He's the other one. He's voiced by Jonathan Rigg. Yeah, the whole thing with him, he's basically a bear with a human face. And there's also Animaru, which basically there's something with him, and I'll get to him. He actually shows up during the later half of this thing. So, Luffy fights the guards. He gets a rematch with Batman. Yes, Batman. And Gazelle Man beats pretty easily. Fights Bearman, beats him easily. And, of course, Luffy's trying to get something he's trying to do, something that Rayleigh did. And, of course, Hiro is like, what are you trying to do? Luffy hasn't do this yet, but he'll do it soon. Now, in the case of what the most of the story has, except for Zoro is up to, well, we briefly do see the Shogun where he's still crying over the death of the courtesan. In the case of Nami, Robin, and Shinobu, they're basically relaxing in the bathhouse. We see they're being peeped on by some guys. Of course, Shinobu basically knocking him with a ball crusher, basically kicking him all in the balls. Then, of course, then all of a sudden, they get outside. It seems like about to finish up, have some tea. Then the house is raided by X-Drake and Basil Hawkins looking for basically rebels. Yeah, it's showing basically about the crescent tattoos. Come up, who's behind her? And it's Nami. And then she accidentally drops her towel and shocks everybody. Some of the guys get knocked out because of love. Heck, heart eyes. But here's the thing: the women are admiring the fact Nami is hot. She's got a beautiful body. And then all of a sudden we see some blood drip from the sea. What the heck is going on here? It's Sanji being invisible, being a pervert. And then, of course, he briefly fights X-Drake and Basil Hawkins. They get away. And, of course, there's Vilton flying away. And, of course, Nami's asking the question, what are we doing there? Yeah, we'll get to that. So, it reveals that, that their plan has been compromised. They need to plan a new strategy. And, of course, Kinemon informs Dawson about this. And also the fact that Beppo and the penguin guy from Law School have been captured by Kaido's men. Then apparently off screen, Nami proceeds to beat the living crap out of Sanji, resulting in his face having a bunch of boo-boos on it. He still talks normally despite the fact that he is very heavily bruised. Oh, don't worry, his head back to normal soon. Don't worry about that. And of course, Law goes up the hub being warned, don't do it. And he goes off, and of course, Yamaru basically comes in, who is basically noticed the flyer, and he of course knows who Shinobu and Kasara Conjurar. Well, we'll get to the reason why how he knows them, and then we cut to Zoro, where he's basically just he is of course running after. Well, of course, apparently it's revealed by Yomaru that he had run off because someone stole his sword. So then he confronts the guy who is actually, a guy who's stealing a bunch of swords, a sword stealer. Fights him briefly, and all of a sudden he hears this woman scream, "It's the courtesan! She's alive and well with Otaku!" How are these two alive? Reveal that later. They're being chased by a street slasher. Yes. Kasaru, the killer. Which, of course, this is actually killer from Captain Kidd's crew. Under manipulation by the Shogurochi. And, of course, Sanji does battle over the course of 2 episodes. Beats him, with his own move, and he gets knocked out while seeing the guy who took his sword, Shisei. He does briefly mention the events of Thriller Bark, which, of course, the guy doesn't buy that at all. Excuse me, this I think it's all true. And that thing ends with the courtesan going after, trying to check on Zoro. And that's... but there's also a brief thing of... We also have Big Mom, Kaku, Otama, and Momonosuke, where they're basically still on the way to Udon. Yep, it's a very brief scene and just continuing stuff there. But yeah, that's pretty much all the episodes in a nutshell. And you might be curious though, when does Act 2 end? I'm not really sure. I think it ends with episode 956. Yeah, I think 956 is the end of the... Yeah, it's the end of... so 956 is the end of Act 2. But the thing is, for this batch, we're only going to 952. So we're basically be almost done with Act 2. Definitely. Yep. But yeah, that's that particular view. Next up is a Comic Corner, and then I'm going to be away for a bit and come back and work on Dr. Stone. Okay, next video. Bye.